to another episode of Gainz the Clock. This happens every single Friday. I'm Ryan Milton, your host of Gainz the Clock, where I'm giving you the answers, the tools, the tips, everything you want to know. Your questions get answered to help you get wherever you're trying to be, do whatever you're trying to do. This is Gainz the Clock, and every single Friday I'm right here giving it to you. Please make sure that you share it if you get anything out of it, and you subscribe to my channel, because we'll be back, and I got tons of other great, awesome series episodes every single week for you, all week long. We're right here. So today what I want to do is get right to business for you. We're going to be talking about 5 questions that I get often, that I get most frequently as a coach, working with all the different clients I've worked with, and then also I'm going to take 5 of your questions from the audience. Thank you who subscribed and, sent me your questions, and I appreciate it. I'm going to get to 5 of those. So we got 10 questions coming down that's going to help you get further along. And the whole idea behind the show, right, is that, you should be asking your questions. So please bring me more questions, ask me more, I'll feature you on the show, and we'll get you on here. But basically, if you have a question, it's likely that somebody else has that same damn question. Even if you don't know who they are or what they're doing, somebody's probably going to hear that, and maybe they didn't even know they had that question, but now they get that answer. And that's really what the whole show is dedicated towards: questions and answers, Q's and fucking A's. I'm going to give you the things you need to do to make those damn gains. Alright, so let's get right into it. First things first, got all the stuff down here in my notes. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to start with my top 5. Now, I'm just making a list out of memory, anything that's come up recently or over time. But one of the most common things I get, question number 1 right here: what time of day do I need to do my cardio? Alright, so this is for those of you that are doing cardio. People always want to know, is there a benefit to doing it fasted? Is there a benefit to doing it in the middle of the day? Should I do it at night? Does it matter when I do it? Here's what the science says, ladies and gents. The science simply says, as long as you get that cardio in, it don't fucking matter when it's in, as long as it's done, okay? And there is some, kind of back and forth about whether or not you burn more fat faster or not, but in reality, the science research actually shows none of that matters. What matters is the caloric deficit, right? Which matters for burning fat is that you have less calories than you need to maintain your current body weight, and you will burn fat. So with that comes the fact that cardio is putting us into a caloric deficit, right? The more cardio we do, we burn X amount of calories. End of the day, don't matter when those calories get burnt, as long as they do get burned, okay? And you can also do that in a deficit with your eating. So that's why I said, for those of you doing cardio, this would be a relevant question. Answer is, doesn't matter when you do it, as long as you can do it, you're good to go. So, that's why I suggest to my athletes and my clients, that's what I tell people to do. Don't worry too much about doing the fasted. Don't worry too much about when you get it in, as long as you get it in. If you're not going to do it, then it becomes a problem if you're supposed to be doing it, all right? Question number 2, fam. Reading multiple questions at the same time. Do you need to lift super heavy to build muscle? The answer is straight up and go right to you. This is for everybody pretty much, right? Anyone lifting. A lot of people want to build muscle. And this is for you ladies that want to get toned too. Alright, you got to get a little bit of muscle to be toned. The answer is no. You don't have to lift super heavy to build muscle, okay? Actually, muscle hypertrophy occurs in the 8 to 10 rep range for the most part, okay? So that's not generally a super heavy weight. 8 to 10 reps is a medium kind of weight, right? It's a mid-level kind of weight. It's not super light, but it's not super heavy either. And that's basically the spot where you're going to get the most muscle building benefit, all right? So that's where you're going to straight up, you're going to get the answers. You're going to get the gains. You're going to get the builds. So do you have to lift super heavy? No. But do you have to be able to lift challenging enough to your muscle structure? Yes. Like, you need to be able to fail on that 8 to 10 rep range if that's where you're working. You got to be failing on whatever weight you're using, okay? And this is going to be different for everybody. So, questions like this, they drive me nuts. You don't have to lift super heavy. You don't got to be a power lifter to make muscle gains, right? Most of the time, power lifters don't even look like they have a ton of muscle gains because they're always lifting in the lower level ranges. They're lifting in, the power type reps, the 4 to 6 and stuff like that. So, they're lifting the heaviest out of most people, and a lot of them don't have a bodybuilder physique or something like that. And bodybuilders are doing more the 8 to 10 rep range and stuff like that. So a lot comes down to how you want to look, obviously your own personal aesthetic, and then also where you're at. But for the most part, no. Do not got to lift super heavy to make any muscle gains, to, add shape to your body, do whatever you're trying to do. All right? Number 3, how do you track alcohol? This is one that comes up all the time during this time of year, this holiday season. And I have a lot of information on this, actually. I have like infographics on TeamFFLEX Instagram, and I have YouTubes on it in the past. And there's also more info at TeamFFLEX.com if you check that out. But I'm going to give you the short-term version right here. You can absolutely drink alcohol and still get great results. You can still burn fat, you can still build muscle, you can still do all that, as long as it fits in your daily caloric goals, okay? So you got to know what your calories are, you got to know what your macros are, and then you got to fit the alcohol into those. Obviously, you can't go on a bender, binger, you can't do a bunch of untracked shit. You got to know the calories, okay? Here's the thing about alcohol. Works a little bit differently. Science actually shows they're not 100% sure how it's received in the body at this point. It's kind of its own macro in the sense that it does not follow the rules of other macros, okay? And so we're talking about the amount of calories per grams and stuff like that, which is an interesting topic in itself, but I'm not going to dive in there. Go check out some of my other content if you want to learn more about that. But basically, here's how you do it. You got to figure out the caloric content of the drink you're trying to drink, okay? So if you're cracking a beer or something, it says 140 calories on it or whatever, 190, everything's different. Then you got to break it down into your macros, right? You got to actually track it. So first things first, you got to find the calories. If you're at a bar or something and getting drinks, you're not going to be able to get the calories obviously right there, but you can put in the drink you're having in MyFitnessPal, and it will probably give you the calories. Now, here's where the tricky part is. The macros, because the macros are not presented on any of these things, like for the most part, or if they are, they're bullshit. They're not actually following the normal formula for those of you that are tracking. So with that, you got to kind of do it yourself, and here's how you do it. You basically take the caloric number, okay? So let's say for this example, we're talking about a beer that's 190 calories, okay? We know the calories, we don't know the macros. We need to figure out the macros so we can track it, right? Because you can't just put in negative 190 calories. You need to actually do it in macros. So first thing you got to decide is what macro are you going to put this as? Because basically we're just talking about calories. It doesn't really matter how it's received in the body here. You can either pick your carbs or your fats, okay? So leave the proteins alone. Don't deduct from the proteins for the alcohols. We know there ain't none of that in there. So we're talking about carbs and fats. So you pick which one you want to deduct from when it comes to tracking it. And I always tell people to go for the one that's higher. So somebody doing a low carb diet with a higher fat, go with your fats. If you're on a higher carb diet and you got a lower fat, go with your carbs. And basically here's all you do. You take that calorie content of the drink, and if you're going to do carbs, you're going to divide it by 4, okay? If you divide that number, 190, which is calorie of our fake beer in this scenario, by 4, you will get the total of grams that are in the drink, because carbs have 4 calories per gram, okay? Same for fats. Now, fats are a little bit different. They're 9 calories per gram. So what you would do is actually take the drink calories, 190 for our fake beer example right here, and we divide it by 9. And now we're going to get the grams of those. And so then, yeah, hopefully you're staying with me. We'll recap it for you in a second. Then you can take your MyFitnessPal and literally put in carbs, grams or whatever, and then it will deduct. And that's easy enough. That's it. Fats, whatever. For the example that I just gave you, here's how easy this truly is. I'll do it right here live for you. Literally, get my calculator on here, okay? We're going to go with our fake beer, 90 calories. Find the calories of whatever drink you're drinking, obviously. Don't do that for this. This doesn't count for all of them. And let's say I want to do it by carbs. Like it just said 4 calories per gram. So I go like this. 190 divided by 4 equals 47. Okay? So for this scenario, it's 47.5. It'd be 47, 48 grams of carbohydrates I'm deducting from my caloric totals. Okay, you get this? Is that making sense? So that's what I would deduct an hour. Now the calories are tracked, now the macros are tracked. Everything is A-okay right there. I'm feeling good. I can do the same thing with fats. 190 divided by 9, because there's 9 calories per gram of fat, okay? 190 divided by 9 equals 21. Okay, so if I was doing this with my fats, I would deduct 21 grams of fat. And now my alcohol is tracked. You can do this with any drink there is. Very simple. Again, if that was a lot coming at you right now, just go to my website, TeamFFLEX.com. I got resources there, other YouTubes on it, stuff like that. But basically, do this with any drink as long as you can get the calories, and you can always get the calories. So this will work with wine, beer, martinis, margaritas, all that shit. All right, that's how you do it. Let's get to the next question now. So, next question on the agenda here, number 4. That was kind of a long answer, by the way. Sorry about that, guys, but it's important. It's damn important. You got to get that wine in around the holidays, right? Question number 4, what's the amount of time I should be spending in the gym to get results? And so when I wrote this, I wrote a little weird right there, but I'm talking about, people are saying, hey, I was in the gym for an hour. Is that enough? Hey, I was in the gym for an hour 15. Hey, I was there for 45 minutes, 30 minutes. What time do you need to actually be spending inside the gym training to actually get your best results? And for the most part, I'll tell you, I've trained thousands of people, lifestyle clients, competitors, pro athletes, all types of people. And what I've figured out, you really can't do less than, 45 minutes and get results. You really can't do less. Like, there's all these, 6-minute abs and bullshit. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Yeah, you can do a little bit of work in 6 minutes, but you're not going to get damn good results doing 6 minutes. So, 45 minutes is a minimum. An hour is probably the more mainstream. You got to be in there about an hour 15, I would say, is more realistic. And this is accounting for you doing accurate sets, accurate reps, and accurate rest. And in reality, it's no percentage of your day. It's like nothing, right? It's literally the smallest percentage of your day. It's insane, An hour is nothing. And so with that, you got to make sure your priorities are set. If you're bitching about having to go to the gym for an hour, then obviously you don't want results, right? Because a lot of times the gym is the main activity for people these days. Like literally, unless you're out being a construction worker and shit, you probably do need it just for your general health, at least to be moving, to be doing some type of activity for at least an hour, okay? And now, obviously, competitors and things like that, they can easily be in the gym for up to an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, depending on their cardio and their training. But they are doing that for literally a sport they're competing in. Is not for everyday lifestyle people. I would not encourage people to be, doing the gym for that much, just for lifestyle clients, just because it doesn't make sense. So there's a cutoff time. There's going to be, a good amount of results, and then there's going to be just them dropping off because you're basically doing too much. So you got to make sure you know what you're doing. You got to know your goal. Hopefully you got a coach. If you want help, go to TeamFFLEX.com right now. Sign up for a free trial, and you just drop your email in the box there. And we'll tell you how to do it. I'll show you how you really should be, training. Me or one of my awesome coaches will get you set up. If you're serious about it, that's what you should do. Let's move on. Next question. Then we're going to fan questions. Coming right up. Question number 5 on the Coach Rye questions. What do I do if a lift is hurting? All right, so this is something that comes up all the time. People, they could be working out. They might feel a little elbow pain, a little shoulder, a little knee, a little back. Something's tweaked. Something's just feeling a little weird. There's not really any reason for it. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. It doesn't mean you did bad form or something. You could have slept weird. You could have been sitting in the car longer. You could have been sitting at work too long. All sorts of stuff can tweak the body out. And obviously things like overdoing certain movements and like you heard of tennis elbow and stuff, because whatever. Repetition movements and things like that can cause things. So whatever comes up, regardless, you're feeling pain in the gym. Here's what you do. You simply work around it. Okay, you don't quit training if you don't have to. Unless a doctor has told you, hey, you know what, don't train, don't lift weights, don't do any of this stuff. You can pretty much work around it and still go. Obviously, if a doctor tells you not to train, do not train. Don't go to the gym. Don't try to think you're smarter than a doctor. Don't try to blame Coach Rye for saying that you could work around it. You can't. If a doctor tells you no, it's a no. But if you are, in the gym and you got a twinge, your shoulder's bugging, something like that, most of the time you can work around it. You got to stop doing anything that's causing any pain. And immediately. So let's say your shoulder is hurting and you go to do a shoulder press and you press it and it hurts. Don't sit there and try to do 3 sets of hurting shoulder presses. Skip that shit, move on, tell your coach. If you got a coach, hopefully you do. And what I would do is, somebody told me that, I'd substitute that exercise. But great, here's what we're going to do for a few weeks instead of doing overhead press. I'm going to have you do some upright row. We're going to see how that feels, blah, blah, blah. Most of the time, it's certain movements that are going to hurt something. Certain movements that are going to bother and aggravation, right? But it's not going to be every movement. Most of the time, it's not going to be every movement, so you can work around it. And then, let's say that it is every movement, even like your shoulder's bugging you so bad. Okay, take a week off shoulders, do more abs, do more lower body, do whatever else you can do without pain. And basically, that's how you do it. So work around it, do what you can, and then revisit it. After a week, after a couple days, whatever. If you got a coach, recommended time, come back to it, see how it feels. Should be good, because that's how you work around it, and that's how you get it done. All right, fam, we're moving, we're rolling. We are done with my most common questions. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Now I'm going to bring in some fan questions. I appreciate those of you that entered. I picked 5 here at random because I think they're going to be good ones for everybody. Keep them coming. I'm going to keep pulling from the list. I appreciate it. Send me them all the time, and we'll get them on the show. All right? You just DM them, email them, hit me up anywhere, really. Drop them in the comments right here even, okay? So, number 1. Right here, this is from Jenny. How do I increase my deadlift? Okay, so this comes up a lot actually. This is a very common question. Doesn't have to be deadlift, could be squat, could be any lift. Here's how you do it. Progressive overload, all right? You have to progressively get stronger over time. So you got to take wherever you're at. You got to start training in the strength rep range, 4 to 6. And, basically you got to keep adding weight. And you might be doing it with 2.5 plates for a while. 2.5s on each side. And then you move up to 5s a week later. And then you progressively got to be overloading the body. That's how you get strong. You can do this with deadlifts. You can do this with squats. You can do this with anything. Now that's how you actually anatomically do it. Another way is obviously making sure your form is on point. So a lot of times lifts are stalling out and you're maybe not able to add weight because your form sucks. Your form is just not working. You're basically not getting in the groove and being able to get stronger because you're realistically not training muscles. If you're hunchback in Notre Dame in the damn deadlifts, you know something's going on there that's not supposed to be going on. And so you're not going to be able to get stronger like that. In reality, you're just loading your spine more and more. So, you got to have your form right, and then you got to progressively overload. You will get stronger. You can do this with any lift. And remember, it's not about adding tons of... Don't be counting by 45s when you're trying to level up. Don't throw another thing on. Literally, you got to focus on doing it with just little bits at a time. Sometimes it's 2.5, sometimes it's 5. Some people use chains and bands and other forms of resistance. Regardless, if you start increasing over time, you're going to get there. So that's how you do it. That's how you bring your deadlift up. Best form you can do. Get better at your form. And then increase the load over time. All right? So remember that. Thanks for that question, Jenny. Number 2. This is from Travis. What's a good amount of calories per day to burn fat? Travis, that's 100% individual to you, man. Great question, because I know a lot of people have this, but it's 100% individual to you. I can't tell you straight up. I would have to know your height, your weight, your age, and your activity levels to even give you an estimate of calories that you would need to be at. But in reality, you got to be at, a custom level for you. So that's realistically what happens. That's what I'm always saying. Don't follow your friend's plan. Don't do the generic fucking meal plans on the internet. Don't do any of this stuff. Do custom stuff. You got to be custom, because if you're not custom, you're not going to get results, fam. That's it. You won't get any damn results. I can promise you that, because my calories to lose fat would be extremely high for someone that is 130 pounds, because I'm 280, all right? So you know what I'm saying? If they took my weight loss calories and they weigh 150, 130, or whatever, 170 even, they would gain weight eating that. So you got to make sure that you're actually doing what's going to fit for you, custom for you. Hopefully you got a coach. If you don't, go to TeamFFLEX.com right now. Subscribe to the trial. We'll help you out right now for free. You know what I mean? We just want to help, fam. That's what we do this for. So make sure you do that. Question number 3. This is from Megan. Megan says, what is sodium manipulation and why do people do it? Good question. I don't know why the fuck they do it. Just kidding. Sodium manipulation is a practice that's generally done for competitors. I'm sure that's why you're asking this. Competitors do this in an attempt to make themselves look more vascular, make their muscles pop, make themselves appear leaner before going on stage. And that's basically what they do. And so what it is they'll cut sodium out of their diets, in a peak week or 2 weeks out or something like that before a show, in an attempt to make sure they're not holding extra water so they appear leaner. And you see me making this face because it's just all fucking stupid, but in reality that's what it is. And then, some people load it. Some people try to take it before they go on stage. But it shows people doing salt shots and weird shit, thinking that it's going to... In reality, it's not. It doesn't work. It's not a good idea. There's no point for it. There's no reason for it. It's actually dangerous. I've been backstage at shows where competitors pass out before they go on stage because they've done shit like that. coupled with water depletion and, you know, diuretics and whatnot. But the point is, don't do it. There's no reason to do it. It's not going to help you. Keep your sodium the same, okay? Keep your sodium levels leveled out. Keep it right. Your body likes the homeostasis. It likes the repeated normalness, and it will respond well when you go on stage if you do that right. So don't manipulate it. Hopefully now you know what it is. I got tons and tons of content on this. You know, go to my website, TeamFFLEX.com, for more content on Peak Week, as well as my YouTube. Scroll back, look it up, search for Peak Week. I got tons of stuff. All right? Thanks for the question, Megan. Question number 4. We got 2 more to go, fam. 2 more to go. How do I find my stage weight as a bikini competitor? This is from Ashley. Ashley, thanks for the question. Good question. This comes up a lot. I talk a lot about stage weight, actually, because a lot of competitors get in their damn heads about this. Like, that they got to hit some special number. They got to do something specific. If they're not whatever number, they shouldn't compete. And here's the reality. Okay? Bikini competitors, you ain't got no damn stage weights. And what I mean by that is nobody's checking you. You're not weighing in on your damn show day. You're not weighing in to see where you're at. You're not weighing in at fucking all. So stage weight's pretty irrelevant to anyone but your mindset and maybe, you know, your weird coach. But I don't coach anybody on stage weights at all. It's all about aesthetics. It's all about the aesthetics here. You're not getting weighed. You're not getting scored on that. You're getting scored on how you look on stage. So you got to have the right symmetry, the right shape, the right size, the right proportion, and the right conditioning. You need that absolutely for, you know, this division bikini, whatever. But you don't need a damn stage weight. It's not like, oh, well, it's not the fucking Biggest Loser. If you don't hit your target, you're good. Like, you know, there's no target in this. You just got to make sure you're in the right spot, conditioning-wise and physique-wise. And so that's where a coach becomes extremely beneficial, because you can't just look at a scale and say, okay, I need to be this poundage. Because in reality, even if you did, right, like, you can lose weight in a number of ways. It doesn't mean, even if you hit a predicted fake stage weight, because I know a lot of coaches do that, it doesn't mean your physique will be at quality to compete at all. It doesn't mean you'll be in the right spot for a bikini competitor at all. In reality, you could be like a skinny fat chick that weighs the same weight as a bikini competitor, and, you know, you'd be at 2 totally different physiques on stage, and one would fit the criteria and one would not. And that's basically just what it comes down to. You got to fit the criteria of the division you're competing in. A lot of the women's divisions like this, you're not getting weighed in. So don't worry about the damn stage weights. Drop the fucking stage weights idea. Focus on the physique and not worry about the damn numbers. Because at the end of the day, they only matter to your head for some weird reason that doesn't actually matter at all in the real world or even in the sport you're competing in. So hopefully that helps, Ashley. Last question, fam. Last one. What's more important, training or nutrition? This is from Jade. Training or nutrition, Jade? They are, you know, a lot of people will say that nutrition's more important than training, and I fucking hear that, and that shit fucking makes me so mad every time I hear it, because in reality, no matter who you are or what you're doing, you cannot do just one or the other, okay? Like, if you just train and you don't eat good, you're going to look like shit. You might be able to lift some weights, you might be able to be strong, you might be able to do this and that, but you're going to look like shit, because if you're eating like shit, you'll look like shit, even if you're lifting. Alternatively, if you diet really, really fucking well and you don't lift, you'll look like shit there too. Because basically, you might be, you know, lean, you might lose weight, you might do whatever, but you're not going to have any muscles, you're not going to feel strong, your body's going to ache, you're going to feel weak, you're going to look like you're, you know, fucking malnourished sometimes. So in reality, you gotta have the blend of them both. There is no one that is more important or the other. You gotta do fucking both. You gotta train and you gotta commit to nutrition. You gotta do them both together consistently to get results that are good. And you gotta do it over time. You gotta continually do that. You can't be on with one, off with the other, and expect any good result to come of that. You know, if you're on with one, off with the other, you can expect that shit's gonna be off too. Your physique's gonna be off. The way you're feeling's gonna be off. You're not gonna be hitting your goals. Trying to lose weight, you're not gonna do it. Trying to compete, you're not gonna get a good physique. All around, you gotta have the training, nutrition. So the way I say it, you know, they always say it's 80% nutrition, 20% training. Bullshit. It's 50 fucking 50. You gotta have both. If you don't have both, you're fucked, because half the equation is missing, alright? So make sure you train good, make sure you eat good, and do them both together and you will get results, Jade. That's what's up. You'll get it. You'll get those fucking, you'll be able to compete. You can lean out. You can build muscle. You do all that way, and that's how you do it. So that right there concludes Gainz O'Clock for today, fam. I got you 5 questions that I get all the damn time, that I answered 5 from the audience. Thank you for those of you that submitted your questions. Please keep them coming at me. Hit me up anywhere. I'll get them on the show. We'll feature you on here. I'll shout you out. And we'll answer these questions for you on here every single Friday on Gainz O'Clock. I'm Ryan Milton. Please make sure you share. Please make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you again next Friday. Coach Rye is out.